club. You need to go inward and begin to confront, combat that ignorant bullshit ideologies that you've adopted. You need to beat the hell out of the conditions that have been imposed upon you, and then, leaving no stone unturned, you find that masculine nature. You find that nature to be more. You find that overman that Nietzsche talks about, to become better, to always be
Gentlemen,
overcoming. What's going on? It is a bitter, cold, chilly, frosty morning. One of those where you just want to lie in bed and kind of go back to sleep. And in regards to that, how many of us have ever felt we're in that state of insomnia, where we're always awake and aware of this consumeristic, materialistic selling of the shiny objects? We're always hearing and listening to the voices of ignorance. It's as if we're constantly bombarded with the noisy nonsense of the world. And we get caught up, swept away, enslaved in that monotonous routine called the rat race of life. This is the Better Man channel, where we choose to resign ourselves from that rat race. We choose to take a break, to take a rest from the noisy nonsense going on in the world that invites us into slavery, that invites us into a loss of identity. We're taking a step back and saying, hey, wait, that's not for me. There's something more. I'm not going to be caught up in the monotonous routine of a rat race that doesn't end up in a rewarding end. We choose to go inward, to begin to uncover those stones that begin to lead to a different path, lead to something more, something meaningful, something that begins to answer that existential question of who the hell am I? What does it mean to be man? What the hell does this all have to do with anything? And I want to begin to explore the 1999 cult classic Fight Club so that we can get a little insight in what it means to break free and what it means to be stuck in this identity crisis of I'm man, but what the hell does that mean? Am I toxic? Am I just caught up in the rat race? Am I just another cog in the machine? Who am I? What can I do to break free? And so in the movie Fight Club, if you're unaware or have never watched it, I suggest that you watch it. I think it has a lot of meaningful ideas, meaningful themes that not only society could grab a hold of today and recognize, but it has a lot of meaning and themes in it that could help men get a better grasp on where they are and maybe give them an idea of what they're currently going through in this state of what the hell does it mean? Who am I? What's going on? And so in the movie starring Edward Norton and Brad Pitt, Edward Norton's this automobile recall specialist, kind of an insurance guy. And he's just caught up in the monotony of life, right? He has all the materialistic things. He has the apartment. He has all the nice things, the couches and objects that go in it. But he's bored with life, and he suffers from insomnia, right? He can't go to sleep to this world that's constantly going around him, and he gets caught up in that. And this is in 1999, before a lot of social media, but many of us can relate, right? We're always aware of what's going on, the new shiny objects, the new influencer. We're caught up in the social media. We're caught up in that comparative narrative where we're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and sometimes we just don't feel good enough. Especially as men today, we feel like we can be used, abused, tossed to the side when someone else is always looking for something bigger, better, stronger, more beautiful, what have you. So he's caught up in this existence. He suffers from insomnia. So in the midnight hours, he starts going to these support groups for cancer, groups for death, Alcoholics Anonymous, what have you. And how many of men in today's day and age were looking for that support? We're looking for a group. We're looking for an ideology. We see a lot of men in the manosphere. We're looking for something to grab a hold of, something that can give us an identity, something that can give us meaning, that can reward us for being damn man. We want to escape the insomnia. We want to escape that materialistic lifestyle. We want to escape the bullshit of life. So we're looking for support groups. We're leaning in, trying to grab hold of something that's going to give us meaning, something that can help us put to sleep that insomniac rat race. And so he goes to these support groups, and he's kind of identifying with that just to help him get through the night hours. And he's on a flight one time dealing with his recalled dealings in his work career, and he meets this kind of eccentric character, Brad Pitt. Tyler Durden. He's this soap salesman, and he's kind of in-your-face eccentric. And he gives Edward Norton a card. Edward goes home and realizes that his apartment's been blown up, everything destroyed, all his materialistic possessions, all that he's known, in that monotonous rat race, all that he's came to maybe appreciate, blown up. So he calls Tyler Durden, goes and stays with him. They go to a bar that night, and after they're leaving the bar, Brad Pitt says, "Hit me." And so Edward Norton hits him, and they start punching each other. They agree to do this again. They start doing this on a nightly basis. Other men kind of caught up in that, what the hell's going on in the world? They see these two guys beating the shit out of each other, and they're like, that adrenaline, that masculinity, masculine nature rises up within them, and yeah. And so they start this fight club where men show up. You know, it's the strict underground fight club, all these rules that you can't tell anybody. And they just beat the hell out of each other. All these men that are just caught up, you know, a man married for 10 years with 2 kids and kind of just bored with life shows up to get the hell beat out of him. Other men from the support groups that really have no meaning of life or what's going on show up, and they just all beat the hell of each other because they're looking for something. They're looking for a release. All right? How many of us can identify? We're tired of the bullshit. We're tired of being told what life is supposed to look like. We're tired of being what it means to be a man in accordance to someone else's standards. We're tired of the damn rat race. We're tired of not being able to go to sleep to all this BS that's constantly waking us up like a damn alarm clock. And we're looking for a release. And so these men go on to beat the hell out of each other, and they find that adrenaline rush, that life to meaning. They find that edge where, whoo, I'm alive. And while that momentarily can have benefits of, whoo, I'm alive, right? Imagine getting punched in the face. Or if any of us have ever been in a fight, it is that adrenaline rush where, you know, moments after you're on top of the world, you feel alive and tough and vibrant and have that vigor within you that identifies with man, what it means to be man, to go out there, explore, conquer, be dominant, assertive. But at the end of the day, that rush, that dopamine rush is gone, and you're left with the bruises and the cuts, and you're needing your next fix. And so why I'm not against finding your adrenaline rush, go out there and do things that challenge you and make you feel alive, they're always going to be temporary. And so Edward Norton, the insomniac, begins to realize maybe something's off, and he starts trying to look into the whole fight club and Tyler Durden. And he realizes that Tyler has set up all these fight clubs across the country. And not only that, he set up the Project Mayhem, a group of men that are wanting to remove debt from society. And they're going to do this by blowing up credit card companies and blowing up buildings and bringing about destruction and chaos and anarchy. How many of us can relate to that? We're tired of the rat race. We're tired of the deception, the lies. We're tired of what we're told to be, what we're told not to be. And God, it would be nice just to see the system fall and us standing there atop the rubble grinning. And while that's a satisfying and temporary daydream, I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think that's the actual responsibility, the power, the identity of true masculinity. We're here to recourse the direction, to stand strong and to build something bigger and better. And so Tyler, or Edward Norton, begins to investigate this. And upon further investigation, he realizes that him and Tyler, they're the same guy. The bored, monotonous insomniac invented this other character, this disassociated identity and personality, so that he could help navigate the rat race, to help navigate this world that he felt stuck in, so that he could have some actual support. And the movie goes on, and it's a great movie that I encourage you to watch. But I just wanted to use this movie as an example that as men, we get lost. We get lost in the race. We get lost in chasing the shiny object. And we get lost in things that are eventually going to blow up. Like Edward Norton's apartment blew up and he lost all this materialistic BS. There'll come a point when we realize that none of that matters. There'll come a point when maybe we lose that and our world's turned upside down and we're looking, searching for what the hell it means to be man. We've been constantly awake in the social media age, in this materialistic world where at the click of a button you can get anything, have anything, look at anybody. And we're always comparing ourselves to, what if I had that? What if I had this? And we start drowning in the things that are absent from our life as if we truly needed them. And we lean into the support groups. We may even begin to create that alter ego, that other personality, so that we can begin to make sense of a world that is now starting to make no sense. And instead of joining a club where we have to beat the shit out of each other and beat the shit out of ourselves, we need to go inward. And it may take a beating up of something. We got to beat the hell out of that old weak personality. We got to beat the hell out of the bullshit that resides within us that tells us we have to be a part of something that makes no sense. We got to beat the hell out of that alter ego that craves pleasure, that craves the new shiny object. We have to begin to destroy that. And that takes going inward, where we leave no stone uncovered. We turn it over, and maybe we find something we don't like. We don't run from that. We combat that and beat the hell out of that. Because just like those men got that adrenaline rush from fighting each other, that's the same thing when we go inward. But a lot of people don't want to deal with it because it does hurt. There are going to be some bruises and scrapes, but just like the movie, after that first punch, after you start beating the enemy, that darkness, that monster within, there's a little bit of rush. Oh, shoot. This is what it means to be alive. This is what it means to go to work on myself and destroy that enemy. And we get that rush that doesn't go away because it's always there, because you're always able to go to work on yourself. And there's no bruises, there's no scrapes, there's no one looking at you at work like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? We become a better person when we start beating the hell out of that weakness that's within us. And that's what it means to be a man. We don't turn our cheek, we don't turn a blind eye to the ignorance that's within us, the ignorance within the world. We go to work on inward, and maybe, just maybe, we have an influence not only on ourselves, but those around us, and maybe that can result in a ripple effect to the world. Maybe, just maybe. But most definitely, when we go to work on ourselves, and we're not afraid to confront that monotonous rat race bastard that's within us and punch him square in the jaw, we get that rush. We get a little vigor. We gain some vitality to life. We recognize, yes, I can be a better person. And like the movie where they have the fight club, there has to be a fight. There's that struggle. If you're not wrestling with that old version of yourself, if you're not punching that old bastard in the face that's within you, then you're not growing. You're not gaining any freedom. There's going to be a required fight. There's going to be a required confrontation. And you're going to have to be the one to choose that, or you're going to be stuck in that hamster wheel that keeps spinning around. You're going to be stuck in debt. You're going to be stuck in those lost ideologies. You're going to get caught up in the political rat race. You're going to get caught up in the economic rat race. And you're always going to feel less than. You're always going to feel like that insomniac that can't go to sleep. So you need a support group to help sustain your very existence. You don't need a support group. You don't need an underground fight club. You need to go inward and begin to combat that ignorant bullshit ideologies that you've adopted. You need to beat the hell out of the conditions that have been imposed upon you. And then, leaving no stone unturned, you find that masculine nature. You find that nature to be more. You find that overman that Nietzsche talks about, to become better, to always be overcoming. I love you guys. You are not an insomniac caught up in the rat race of life. You are a warrior that's going to go inward, beat the hell out of that less than man that resides within you, and accomplish more in one fight. Accomplish more in one night of fighting with yourself and going inward and discovering who you are than you've accomplished in years of following the rat race and years of following other people's agendas. I love you guys. You'll hear me next episode.